Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Dude here, and today we're back with another brand new setup video. Now, I suspect this setup video to be extremely popular, not only because this is a brand new car to the Gran Turismo series, let alone Gran Turismo 7, but also this is one of the most overpowered cars I have ever driven in any category, at least fully upgraded. Pretty much, if you want to win in Group 3 maxed out, this car pretty much does everything better than everything else. And honestly, I think that's due to this being a GT300 spec car, having a lot more downforce, as well as some crazy ridiculous top speed that I did not expect it to have. So yeah, this is going to be an extremely good video. I'm going to recommend some setup adjustments depending on the track that you're running at, because I did run into some issues with my trial Mound setup, and although it was the fastest at trial Mound amongst some other kind of more wide open tracks, when you start going over the curbs with this car, it does demand a little bit different balance. So I'm going to recommend some setup changes for some other track. But yeah, before I get into the setup, guys, 79% of the people who watch these videos are currently not subscribed. So if we can make that ratio just a little bit better, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a like and commenting what you would like me to set up next also would go a long way in me knowing what I should be making tunes for on this YouTube channel. But yeah, without further ado, guys, let's get into the setup. So here we are in the Subaru BRZ GT300 setup. Obviously, it does actually look kind of similar to something I would run on a regular FR car. The one thing of note that you will notice is it actually has more downforce, just full stop, than any other GR3 car in the category. 500 in the front and 750 in the rear. I'm also running a little bit more rear camber on this car because it does actually have really good traction. So running it low, honestly, is just kind of hampering my on-throttle experience at high speed. I feel like when I have the camber at 1.7, the car rotates a little bit better when you're on the gas at high speed. Now, the interesting bit here, of course, is this car at trial Mound is extremely fast, as is in this picture. However, a lot of people I know are probably going to complain about some of the entry oversteer that this car has, as well as its lack of ability to deal with curbs. Now, I drove this car at Dragon Trail Seaside, and I actually was able to get 2 setup adjustments on this particular car to make it a lot more drivable, and that would be putting your initial torque and your braking sensitivity up to 60 instead of 5. Now, it seems like a bit of a silly kind of flamboyant change, but I'm telling you, on a track where you have to go over curbs and you have to be a little bit more careful on low speed, this extra stability that you get from these 2 adjustments is greatly appreciated. In this game, initial torque actually does affect your performance off the throttle, and you definitely notice it. Again, tracks like Seaside, even maybe something like Maggiore where you need a little bit more stability entering corners, also being able to ride curbs, it does make it a lot easier. So try to mess around with it depending on the track. Again, 5, 17, and 5 is going to be the option that probably gives you the most outright grip, especially in the front end of the car. And I do find at trial Mound I am probably, I would say, 3 or 4 tenths faster running it at 5, 17, 5, but it doesn't matter how much front end grip the car has if you can't control it. So that's something I recommend with this car. So here in the transmission, I said this about the Z4, but I'm actually not running as long of a first gear or a second gear as what I would normally run. Mostly because this car has fantastic traction. You don't really need to avoid the power band to, get traction for this car. So it is a pretty standard looking transmission and something that you could run pretty comfortably at almost any track. Now, one thing you're also going to notice is the 6th gear top speed is 373 kilometers an hour, which is pretty damn long for a Group 3 car. But once again, once you see the top speed that this car has, you're going to understand why the transmission is this long. Now, of course, if you're running balance of performance, you're going to want to move that final gear at the bottom that says 3.150. You're going to want to move that to the right. You're going to want to move that far to the right. So basically, if you got your final gear right is if you're at the end of the longest straightaway on whatever track you're racing at and your 6th gear is just about to rev out. That's how you know you got a good final gear. You're probably going to want to move this to right if you're not doing this with max power, which is 794. And if you have a track where you have a longer straightaway and you are running it maxed out, then you're going to want to move the final gear to the left a little bit more. It just kind of depends. Also, the last thing I want to note as well, you may see on the right side of your screen there that there's actually an anti-lag that comes installed with this car right underneath the high RPM turbo, and you're going to want to put your anti-lag settings on strong. I think on default it's weak, but yeah, putting it on strong just makes it that much better, and you do gain a little bit of straight line performance from putting the anti-lag on strong. wrong. So that's just a little fun fact with this car. Sorry if the setup portion of this video was a little bit long, guys. Obviously, I had a lot to talk about with this car, but today we're going to be lapping it at Trial Mound Circuit. I can't say there's really a track where this car isn't well suited to, so yeah, just let's get ready for the lap. It's going to be insane. So here we are at Trial Mound Circuit, guys. Now this is honestly noticeably more difficult to commentate over because of how much faster the car is than a normal Group 3 car. It is extremely fast in a straight line. Revving it out in 5th gear here, getting the car turned in, a little lift, carrying so much speed through the top of the hill there, full throttle all the way through that exit. Hard on the brakes, get a little bit of oversteer there with the 5 initial torque and braking sensitivity, but lots of traction on the way out. Get the car turned in, right on that inside, hard on the throttle once again. Use as much track as you possibly can. Get the car turned in. It's starting to wiggle and wobble a little bit, but once you get on traction, it's very stable. Miss the apex a little bit there, but we get a decent exit. Now you want to shift this car. You don't want to rev it out, but you want to shift it right at the end of the rev range, not quite all the way at the end. But yeah, I actually compared this car's straight line speed to some Group 2 cars, and fully upgraded Group 2s are about the same as the thing on the straightaway, which is a little bit disrespectful. Again, very easy to drive in my opinion. It definitely has some quirks on entry, but it has tons of traction, hard on the brakes here. Get the car turned in on the curb. I didn't get as low as you could have got there, but I did get back to the throttle extremely soon. Hard on the brakes again. Again, we probably could have got it quite a bit lighter. Or, sorry, quite a bit lower. But yeah, tons of traction, tons of straight line speed, tons of high speed cornering. Like, what else could you want, really? Coming up through this final corner here, get a little bit of extra rotation. Using 1st gear. Coming down this final straightaway, hugging the bottom wall here, and we get a 138.4. Now this car absolutely blows everything out of the water, and it kind of rewrites the history books on what a Group 3 car can do at this particular track. Again, this is over 2 seconds faster than the DBR9 setup that I have uploaded on my YouTube channel right now. Now the DBR9 setup, I will be eventually uploading another setup for it that's maybe a little bit faster, because that was the first tune I put on this channel, and I didn't fully understand it yet. But again, this thing is pretty much 2 seconds faster than everything else. It's wildly overpowered for fully upgraded racing. For BOP, I don't think it's that good, but you could also run it for BOP and the setup will work fabulously. And once again, if you're driving on a track where you feel like it's a little bit unstable, putting that initial torque and that braking sensitivity up, I use 60 and 60. Will definitely help the stability in a lot of cases, especially at tracks like Dragon Trail Seaside. So before I close out this video, guys, if you can click the subscribe as well as the like button, I would greatly appreciate it. In addition, leave a comment below on which car you would like to see me tune next. The more comments I see, the more likely I am to get to that car as soon as possible. But otherwise, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's been Dude. I hope you guys have a fantastic night, and I'm out. Peace.